know what your yes is and know what your no is, because that really helps you to propel your business forward and give you more time margin to say yes to the things that are important.
Hey, Anna, do you think people are listening?
Yeah, why wouldn't they be? We make business so fun.
Don't we? In that case, let's introduce ourselves.
Hey, it's Anna and Selena and the 15-ish minute coffee chat podcast. Talking business doesn't have to be boring, so dive into our coffee chat conversations and learn something new for your small business.
All right, go.
This is what we do. This is what we do.
Hey guys, welcome to season 13 of the 15-ish minute coffee chat, a conversation providing tips for every entrepreneur and business owner.
Do you have a strategy behind your business operations? What does it take to grow your business? And should you even grow it? How can you optimize your processes? Where should you be investing in your company? These are the questions every small business owner faces. Our guest today, Mikel Dyer, is an operations strategist and the owner of Adroitly Co. She is ready to share how to design your business the way you think and what questions you need to be asking to grow how you want.
Hello, Anna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Selena. How are you doing today?
You know what? What's funny? Look, you guys, like in the frame, I don't know where that was earlier, but I have my vacuum. So this is real life. Okay. I'm like, why? And we just talked backstage with Michael about her, like how she was going to sit
Yes,
and
she's gonna be reclining position to hide the back her background.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So now that I pointed it out, I apologize that now all you're going to fixate when this is in the shot is of my vacuum. How am I doing, Anna? This should just say it right here. Because I am a perfectionist and I think this shows how tired I am. I know this is going to air later, but we just had my daughter's graduation from high school. And it was tearing, crying. Anna was there. And I think the special moment that I love is that she saw how many people were. We had 20 seats saved and we filled all 20 seats. And when she came out onto the floor, she looked up at everybody and we were all screaming her name. She started crying. And then all of her Texas aunties and her real aunties from Hawaii that came and Pennsylvania, everybody was like, crying. We're all crying. Her grandmas are crying. It was wonderful.
It-
Trying to come down from this heightened, like hosting your family and friends and hearing your name said a zillion times.
Yes. And that's fun because our guest today, Mikel, she has involved her family in starting this business of
I
hers,
Yes.
which I love. We're gonna ask her about it when she comes on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where her name and her logo and all these things, it is truly a family business in that
Mhm.
sense. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk to her today about business operations because these are the kinds of things where when you're really good at something, but you're not good at necessarily the business operations, like
I
you might be good at marketing, but maybe not finances, or you might be
Yeah.
really good at the strategy, but implementing it is right.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited to have her on to give us that like big picture overview.
Yes. No, you know what? And that's so true because sometimes it's interesting, and I'm sure Michael's going to say this. We have this great idea for the business. Like maybe we're going to build this product, and then it's the administrative stuff, the building of your business on the back end that sometimes they don't think about.
Yeah.
Right. And so I love that we're having her on and I'm super excited. So let's just what's our call to action today to
Yeah.
people?
Our call to action today, what we want to know is, do you have a strategy behind your business operations? Okay. So
Mm.
strategy is Are you thinking it through before you do it, or are you winging it as it comes flying at you and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that"? Because
Um,
I sometimes when you start your own business, especially if it starts as like this little side hustle and then turns into something bigger, that's that point where you're not quite you don't think things through. So I'm
yeah.
curious, give a thumbs up if yes, you have a strategy, you're super organized and you got this down. Thumbs down if you wing it. And I'm gonna give myself a one of these because it depends on what the topic is.
I know. What's funny, I have strategies for all my clients, but I just don't have the bandwidth or the time to give me a solid. So I'm going to be like this with you, Anna, because I know it could be better. I'm going to
All
be like
right,
this.
we are solid in the middle, like non-committers, which
Yeah.
is why
Yep.
we need somebody like Michael in our lives, right?
Exactly. So why don't we're going to bring up her bio and Anna's going to read this lovely woman's things. Full disclaimer, guys. I'm having an issue saying a word and I don't want to do it. I want to make sure it does its justice. And this is going to be a new word you learn. So we're going to ask Michael about it, obviously. But go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so Michael is an operational strategist and the owner of Adroitly Co, an operations and business management company. She is wife to a Marine and a mother of 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, whom she home educates. As an entrepreneur, she loves learning and thinking outside the box. When she's not serving clients with her strategic thinking and solutions, she's enjoying traveling and exploring the outdoors with her family, wherever the Marine Corps has planted them. Without further ado, I am going to be bringing Michael up to say hello.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the party.
Yes,
You know,
I know. I was like anxiously waiting backstage. Like, I want to come up
right?
too.
Yeah. How,
Hello.
exactly. How funny is it that my vacuum cleaner made an appearance into
I love it. We were like
Yeah.
just talking about the things, and then it was like, oh hey, vacuum. There.
Yeah, I know. My brain got distracted. I was like, "What is that in my left corner?" Sam was talking. I was like, "No." Oh, okay. Look,
You
guys.
know,
So
we all had
like,
vacuums. It's
yeah,
fun.
we do. And if you don't, I'm so sorry. That's a really wonderful thing to have. Look, let's do our coffee cup selfie because me and Anna are so pumped to dive in with Michael. And again, I'm going to share another. If I say Mikel, it's because I'm trying to make it bougie like Target. Okay. All right. Okay, Michael. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That is an invisible person on the other side somewhere that just snapped a shot for
Photo
us.
right there.
And yeah. Hey, welcome to the show. And this is going to be a drink your coffee or whatever test to see how many times Selena says names of companies
Okay, I'm
and
ready.
of our honored guests. Okay, let's do it. Let's get you in the hot seat.
Let's do it.
Boom.
Okay. Wait, before we get too started with our actual questions, Michael, talk to us about incorporating your family into your business because I love this story so much. Tell us who designed your logo. Tell us who helped you come up with your company name.
Yes, absolutely. It is definitely family affair around here. So, as you guys know, I'm a mom of 4, and my 10-year-old was very thoroughly involved. He would like, I am going to get the credit for this. I want to be able to say, I designed your logo. So, I showed him inspiration, gave him some ideas, and he ran with it. And I wish I brought my paper with me. I actually have it downstairs in my nightstand. But he had like 3 printer sheets of paper of sketches and drawings he did. He probably did like 100 versions or more, but he is the one that designed my logo, and then my best friend made it digital, made it come to life, but it is totally his inspiration. And same with the name. We were like trying to think, what is operations? What does that mean? Which first I had to explain to my 10-year-old and 8-year-old, what is operations and business operations, which honestly has helped me in the field because I think a lot of people that I come into action with, they're like, operations, yeah. Wait, what is that? Like they know the word, but don't really know what it is. So really great practice there explaining it to them. And we are like, okay, so we want to cleverly help some people. And then there was Adroitly. So Adroitly and Co is our name. And it's been really fun. And they really have so much ownership in it. And they're like, yeah, mom, go do your thing.
I love that so much because sometimes, especially as entrepreneurs that work from home, right? And you homeschool. right? So you help
Yes,
educate them, and that means they are there. So they are watching you
absolutely.
do what you do. They're seeing what you do. So by involving them, they've got a stake in what you're trying to build, which I think is amazing. I love that.
Absolutely.
Oh
It's
my
so fun and to have them just be involved in those ways. Obviously, like, they're not running the business, they're not doing things, but they're absorbing. And there's even little things like my kids say, like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm that." I'm like constantly selling to my husband. I think we're raising entrepreneurs. You're welcome or I'm sorry. We'll see how it pans out. Okay, we go either way here, but it is fun. They're always wanting to, they think they can create a business out of anything. So great resources and skills to develop. And it's really helps in our homeschooling journey because I'm like, okay, let's write a business plan. Let's use some math. How can we make it do all these things?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to jump in and I wish so much that regular schools did that, right? Because they don't teach that kind of stuff. So you are totally setting up your children for a realistic future of what they're going to run into.
Yes,
If you run a business, even if you don't run a business, if you're an operations like CEO, you should know what a business plan is. You should read through it and have your opinions on it. So
exactly.
I love that you just said that because I just wish I know not during my schools, there were no business classes. It was,
I
I learned
wish.
how to, yeah, I learned how to type because that was a needed class. And I had a choice between sewing or home economics.
How
I
often do
can,
you use that?
I definitely don't sew at all. Never mind if I broke in and I do cook, but not what I was taught there.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely not my primary. But when I hear stuff like this, and I love the birthing of entrepreneurs, like the young, I just love it because I think it fuels their passion starting early on, right? And I love that story. I did joke with Michael because I love that her son helped with the name. I was like, gosh, I feel like my kid would have been like bruh or Riz. I don't know if you know what I mean. So you got a smart kiddo, and I love that. So yeah,
Yeah, it was so fun.
yeah.
Hey,
No.
my other kids probably would have come up with some wild things. He's my like, I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna do it well. I'm competitive. I want to have the
Yeah.
credit. So
I love that.
His siblings will just be the hype people, right? They'll be like a
exactly.
Selena.
It
They'll be like,
it takes a village.
it
It
does.
takes
It
a
does.
village. I love it.
Okay, guys, let's come back here in 10 years and see where the little Dyers are and get an update, right? So
That's right.
I know. Okay, let's jump into our questions because I know, look, we're all entrepreneurs, meaning we run our businesses, we also run our households, we also all the things. So, Anna, what is our first question for Michael?
Yes. So our first question, we want to know. So when Michael submitted her intake form, one of the things she talked about was designing your business how you think. We loved this concept. So we would love for you to explain, what does this mean and why in the world is it even important?
Yeah, it's so important. I do think it's a kind of an abstract question. So to lay some groundwork, I typically work with highly creative people. I've touched businesses of all kinds, but that is like my favorite is the highly creatives. And so a lot of times they're very visual or they speak with their hands like me. And we have not really come up with this concept of you think your business should look a certain way, right? You see it on social media, you see it in books, all the things. You're trying to become this super business owner that is inside of you, and you can do it. But really, if you're doing it their way, it's not going to work. You have to do it the way you see your business and really designing it in a way that you can be consistent because you can have all the systems, you can have all the processes, you can have all the fancy buzzwords. If you don't use it, it's not going to move your business forward. So I just like to let's go back to basics. I love the KISS method, except for I don't like the stupid at the end of it. So we are now keeping it simple, sunshine. That's where we're at. So we're going to keep it simple, sunshine, and we are just going to start with the basics. So, really, as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur of a small team, just bringing it down to what matters to you, because that's the people you're going to attract. Not that we all have to be the same, but you're going to have that attraction. So, remembering your mission, remembering your values, and letting that be your foundation of how you operate, how you decide what is the most important. Just because you saw some business expert on LinkedIn or Instagram or your favorite book you just read or the podcast you've been listening to. If you do it in a way that doesn't make sense, but you're doing it their way, you're probably not going to use it. And then your business isn't going to go anywhere. I think we all have the tools and resources that look great, but then it just sits there because it doesn't actually propel you forward.
Oh, I feel like you literally just called me out in the beginning of because you're so right. It's that beginning stages of trying to figure out who we are. And we think if we're like them, it will. And you are so right. I can tell you how many things have sat like in my Google Drive, on my desktop.
Yeah.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
so just yesterday I had a client that shot me an Instagram reel that they had watched, and it was like this get in how to get in someone's DMs and get them to follow you and get this organic. And anyway, it was all cold call DMs, like the kind that we block eh, because nobody actually wants to get them. And she's, does this actually work? We should be doing this. And I was like, okay, let's back up. First of all, this is not your strength. This is not how you like to approach people. I said, how many times do you get a DM in your Instagram and say, yes, I want you to come to me with more information, right? Never, ever. And I had to remind her, this is what she got so excited by this. Oh, this guy did it and he has a million new followers, right? Like in her head, that was what she wanted, and the process, she thought, "Maybe if I do it his way." And, so I love you took it right back to the, no, it's gotta be your strengths, your mission, your value set that lays the foundation of how you move forward, or it's not gonna work. It's not sustainable in the long run. That is a beautiful thought for
Absolutely.
every entrepreneur.
I think also we get this idea in our mind. Business in our mind are these big empires, but I don't know about you guys and what your goals in your business is, but I'm not trying to build an empire. I'm not trying to take over the world. I'm not trying to be the next Amazon. I'm trying to build a successful company for what my mission and values are. If we take over the world at some point, then okay, we'll just keep rolling if that's where we go. But right now, I'm not trying to build an empire. So my success isn't the same as the success in the business books, and that's okay.
Mm,
I like and I think what you're thinking, and I'm pulling back from just all experiences, right? I think most businesses can be and are inspired by others, but they have to make it their own so that, like you said, it lifts off, right? Because then you feel, what is that called? You have some skin in that game because you're like, yeah,
Right.
this is mine and I do want it. And it's just getting to that step, right? Getting to that, designing it in your own way, which now guys, I think this makes sense, right? Like, how many things right now can you say is yours? Is it working? Do you feel like you're really owning it,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can see that in your day to day. Like,
Yeah.
what are the things you're dreading? What are the things that are on your list of I need to do that is still going
Yeah.
to be there tomorrow because you're going to push it off because you just don't like what you're doing or how you're
Yes.
doing. So
Yes.
operations really, I think people get overwhelmed with it, but it's the engine of your business. It touches every area of business. And it's just really important to we're going to keep it simple, sunshine. We're going to go back to basics. What is it what's that next best step? And yeah, it's complicated because we do have to touch every area of business. I think that's where people get overwhelmed with operations. It's a wide net that gets narrower. But I think there's a lot of value in keeping it simple. You're going to have the shiny object syndrome or the loud voices, but being true to you is going to be the best thing to propel your business forward operationally.
Okay, so I have two
Yeah.
questions, but I will
Hit
start
me.
with this one, right? So the first one really has to do with what we were just talking about, right? Like you're not trying to build an empire. I love that so much. I had to even put it as a little ticker going across the bottom, right? Not trying to take over the world. But when you are trying to grow and scale, right? And you do have that thought of, I want something bigger than what it currently is, right? This is where, and I guess the two questions kind of align, right? So this is where now, what do you do next? There's that paralysis of, do I go the way they did it? Do I do it the way they did it? What is my belief system or my foundation that we just talked about, that design your business the way you think? Where is it going to take me if I'm not
Absolutely.
quite sure where to take that next step at?
And I think that's where we get overwhelmed and we want to take all the steps at once. So I think slowing down and being strategic, thinking about your areas of business. What way do you want to grow? Because growth is very subjective, right? Like, how do we want to grow? Are you trying to grow in your revenue streams? Are you trying to grow in your offerings? Are you trying to go in your outreach? Are you trying to grow? There's lots of things. So I think slowing down and first being like, wait, where do I want to grow next? Because you can't continue to have growth until you're growing one area. So I think slowing down and remembering there's so many areas of business and you can't grow in all of them at the same time. Like it's just not going to work. And they feed off of each other, of course, but I like to strategic planning. That is my favorite thing. That's what I do. That's my secret sauce. But going down and thinking of these 7 foundational things that I like to lay in a business helps you know what area are we putting the most effort in. And you're always going to be touching all of them, but you should be putting most of your effort in one place. So I always like to say, if you are trying to grow in a certain direction, it tells you what area you need to be. And the other thing is finances. Like your money systems are so important. And I think as small business owners, that's the last area we want to touch, right? We want to make all the money, but we don't want to look at the report. So I am not a bookkeeper. I am not an accountant, but let me tell you, that's the first area that you need to look to make the decision of what part of operations you need to work in. It's going to tell you, hey, we need to have more connections. So we got to do more marketing. Or, hey, really, we need another offering. We're really stagnant where we're at. Okay, let's start developing our next product or our service. It's going to tell you what area to grow in. And I think going back to those reports are always going to help you make that next best decision.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if this is a rogue question, Anna and Michael, but
Hit me.
I think you're right. You totally said it right. You're like operationally, sometimes we put our head in the sand. AKA, you mentioned finance. We'll see the money coming in, but looking at the reports and going, oh wow, this actually does connect to this, and I can change these numbers here if I change these areas here, and understanding that there's a correlation. So my question to you is like, how do you tell somebody like, hey, it's gonna be okay. And I do advise, here's what I advise you. I know when you go through the seven things that you should do in business, but they're just looking at you like, "Ugh." But what if they're by themselves? What do you tell them? Hey, I know you said slow down, breathe, but
Take a deep breath. Step one.
yeah, like I feel like I think my question is they should look for somebody that is operationally strong, right? If they know that they are not strong in that, they should find somebody that's just advise to maybe just take a minute with them to organize
Yes,
them.
absolutely. I think, for example, I got connected with you guys because I know my weakness is marketing. I know that for me to reach my next goals, I need to be doing more that puts me in better visibility.
Yeah,
That terrifies me. I don't like putting myself out there. I want
right.
to operationally get the things done, but to put myself out in marketing places. So I found the lovely Anna, and
Yeah,
she
I
is
love.
helping me like figure out what I have to say to the world and
Yeah,
how to get me into places that I can actually help people, because that at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. I
mhm,
want to take these things that are overwhelming for business owners and say, hey, it's not so bad. And you have a lot of the pieces of the puzzle. Let me help you put the
yeah,
pieces together. So finding your person that is what your weakness is. We don't all have to be superheroes in every area. That's not what we're called to do. You got into business probably because you're really great at
right.
something, and you don't have to know all the things. So finding whatever your weakness is, admitting the weakness because it's okay, and then finding somebody who's really great at it
Yeah,
and letting them come beside you, let them do what they're great at so that you can do what you're great at.
I
yeah,
think this
yeah,
is such an important concept, right? Because we talk a lot about as the small business owners are frequently DIYers, right? I am a DIYer. I will invest the 7,000 hours into learning how to do something poorly before I hire someone because I'm afraid if I don't understand it, how do I even know they're doing it right? This
Right.
is that mindset. That's my fear, right? And
Absolutely.
another small business owner might be doing it for a different reason, financially they don't want to invest or don't
Right.
can't invest or whatever that looks like for them, right? But it's taking that next step that becomes so paralyzing. But another thing, like going back to those two questions I had before, I want to just pause for a minute because what I'd love to do is I'd love to say, what are like business operations? We never really defined what that encompasses before we started talking about this. We've thrown out a couple of things like finance and marketing, right? But when we're talking about business operations, what is it that these small business owners really should be thinking about? What does that encompass? What are I know you have 7 areas that you really focus on. Do you want to
Right.
tell us what those are?
Absolutely. So I like to first define operations as any process within a business. So that can be internal, that can be external, because we know that to be a good business, you have to be doing your stuff behind the scenes, right? And you have to be doing all the client seeing things well to be successful. And there's all these processes that happen on both sides. So our 7 areas of operations are our products or services. It's our operations to make sure our internal tasks are being completed. It is our finances. It's our marketing or visibility, however you want to put that. Some people get overwhelmed with marketing words. So we like to spin it as visibility. It's your team growth. Are you a solopreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you an empire? But you need to be developing the team growth. That's really important. Your customer experience from the moment they get introduced to you all the way till offboarding and beyond. There's more you can do. That relationship doesn't actually end at offboarding. And then the growth and development of yourself as a CEO, as a solopreneur, as a whatever your trade is, but then also feeding that into your team. So your team growth is more so your hiring. Your growth and development is nurturing them and empowering them to grow because really you want to hire people and bring people into your company who are not going to stay where you're at. You would be disappointing yourself if the day you start your business, you're the same person in 5 years. You want to pour into the people who are coming into your business and making sure you're empowering them to make growth and development into who they are.
I just want to do
Yeah.
this for a
Yeah.
minute.
If you're listening to the podcast, Anna is putting up a heart emoji with her hands. No, I love that you broke it down into the 7 areas because I think sometimes too that really helps business owners understand. Okay, this is how I should look at my business, and then where you mentioned earlier, right? Where is your strongest suit? Where is your weakest suit of these areas? And maybe that's how I'm going to be hiring somebody to help me raise the bar in that way. So yeah, I love that. And you made me think of something like we call them funnels. And when you say there has to be a process, right? Like when you offboard them here, you just have to circle them and how are you going to get them back into your funnel at another time? And what would you say to this? I know a lot of people sometimes don't start this process because it's it's hard, good work in the beginning to set yourself up, right? Because then you're set moving forward.
Absolutely.
Okay. And have you found some clients that are resistant because they're like, this is too much work? Like, do you?
I like to break it down for them
Mhm.
in simple tasks. And then at the end of the day, they're like, wait, hold on. I said these things and you got this from it. That's exactly what was in my head, but I know that's not what I said.
Yeah.
We break it down into small steps. We have conversations. I ask a lot of questions. And then I'm like, oh, I'm hearing this is where you're struggling, or this is where there's a lot of frustration. And sometimes we got to deal with the frustration to get to the growth. Every operator is really going to come at it with their own special, unique approach. I have been told I'm very conversational and it's easy to talk to, which allows them to relax and say, whoa, I'm usually the one that has to have all the answers. And now I don't feel that way. I feel okay not knowing the answer and feeling confident we can find an answer. And that's what I like to tell people. And that's my homeschool hack, right? I don't have to know every answer to teach my
Yeah.
kids. We just have to know how to find the resource to get the answer. And just with
Yes.
operations, I don't know all of these areas inside and out, but I know the benchmarks and when to get help and where to seek help. So, like I said, in my own business, I knew I needed help. So I went and got it. That doesn't make me a weak entrepreneur. That doesn't make me less than in my role. It empowers me to do my best for my business and for my client's business by saying, hey, I need help with this because I don't know how to do it. But it was time. And that's how try and make decisions and try and empower my clients to make decisions. I come with them, hey, these are frustrations. Here's the goals. Here, how do we get here? And just really slow it down, break it down, and make it simple.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we real fast? I got to share this real
I know,
fast.
like, but
So, Michael, I want to tell you, like, so when I first started, when I was DIYing, I was, and it's funny, it was about Trello, right? I wanted to know how to use Trello, and I said, I'm not buying any courses. I can figure this out. I'm smart.
right.
And 6 months, I was not using Trello to the full capacity of. And so finally one day I was like, fine, I'm going to spend $30. I'm going to do it. Now because I DIY'd everything, like
Right.
honestly, everything. The minute I took the course and paid for it, I was like, oh my God,
It's right
why?
there.
It was right there this whole time. And I can remember the late nights. Like Anna had like jokes about the 7,000 hours of like how we try to like do something when we are bootstrapping. And I thought, man, this really just accelerated me to the end game of what I was looking for. And so just when you talk about this and just when you can make that decision, make it smartly, of course, but don't be scared to ask for help because it's really about where it's going to help you in the business so you can grow. Because that's
Absolutely.
like you said, if you're in the same place in 5 years, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
you
You
want to
want to
be
be there.
oh, you want to be over there. You want to be sitting in Hawaii. That's an inside joke, guys, but maybe we'll share it with you one day on another podcast. Okay, sorry, Hannah. I wanted to share that before I left my thought. My brain works sometimes.
no, I think it flows into really what our last question for Michael was, which is here we have these 7 areas of operations, and you're talking about the reason why you're so good at what you do is because you're able to make that connection between the challenge and the end goal, right? So, for those that are listening to our show right now, the last question we had for you really was like, what questions should we be asking ourselves? What are these questions you're asking your clients in regards to business operations? What are your like top 3 that you throw out there and say, if you're not asking this and this, then you haven't thought through your strategy very well?
Absolutely. Okay. The field. Okay, guys. I work with small businesses. I work with solopreneurs. So first they are humans. They are people. So I like to be like, let's slow down. And what does success look like to you? Because I think that's just really critical in what we do next. How do we grow? How do we put ourselves in that growth mindset? How do we reach our goals? Because I think a lot of small business owners skip the step of writing the business plan. Like back in the day, if you want to start a business, you got to write the business plan so you can get the money from the bank so you can actually start the business. Now you can start a business on like $200 and be like, hey, y'all, I'm here. And then you're like, wait, I have to do other things. So you have to slow down after you get past that part of, okay, I started a business now. What does success look like to you? And a lot of times we skip the step of writing our mission and our vision and our values out that you would have included in that business plan. So I think if you do not have those, go and write those. Find out a way. What is a mission statement? What is a vision statement? Get it written for yourself. And if you wrote them and then left them in the Google Docs, pull them back out and say, okay, is this mission where I'm at right now, or do I need to update this? And let that help drive that answer to what is success. Because I think we're seeing a lot on the internet of you're not successful unless you're reaching 6 figures or you're reaching 7 figures or how to get to that next thing, which growth isn't bad and striving for a goal isn't bad. But if it's their goal, and it's not important to you, you're probably not going to get very far. First of all, you're just going to be like on the hamster wheel and then you're going to be frustrated and defeated, even though you might have done great things. So I like to just slow down, define success for you, and then start mapping out like, what is that next best thing? What is the thing that's going to push me towards that goal? Because our goal is to have that vision and to start walking that bridge between the mission to the vision. And really knowing what success is to you can tell you what direction to go.
I love that you said that so much because it's something that Anna and I always talk about with our clients is that this is what drives you, your mission, vision, and values. And if you're ever not sure, you refer back to, like you said, hey, is this in line with the mission, look, you know what I'm talking about, and the values, the
You're a
vision.
celebrity now, that's all.
We just made a new word, guys. Trademark that.
Vision.
Yeah, it's vision, values. But no, because you are so right. And I think a lot of people forget that. And that's where you see them like all over the place sometimes, right? Because
Absolutely.
that is the anchor. You are absolutely right. This is the anchor for your business. And it really helps keep you from scattering to the far ends of the
Right.
universe.
Then you're like doing their way and their way. And you're
Right.
like, wait, I've been working so hard and I actually took backward steps.
I don't,
instead.
yes. I don't know where I live anymore. I'm like over
Right.
here. So
No, that's just a military problem. So,
yes.
you're right.
Yeah. Hey guys, and
What's my
also another,
outro?
yes. Another note, we are all military spouses if you're listening to us for the very first time. And so it's great for Anna and I to always bring on another military community member because I think it showcases their skill and talent because a lot of times it gets lost in the fact that they think, oh, we're military and we just live in the house, we take care of our kids and we support a service member. But man, there are so many talented people that it's so great to have. Michael, you're fabulous. And I love your strategy mind. I love it so much. All
Fun.
right. Any
Just want to
business.
keep
Yeah.
looking at it. You just want
Yes.
let me pull another little bit of something awesome out of that line.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Man, I want to ask you more questions, but I know we're at 36 minutes and I
I
know.
know.
Wait, already?
Yes. I know. I'm telling you, we get this all the time, don't we, Anna? Like,
Yes.
It's because y'all are just so fun. That's all.
It was such a good conversation, though. I really feel like you gave some actionable insight too, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, she just totally called me out with that Google Doc comment for my mission, vision, and values.
That was just for you. That was
Like
just
I would have to go to my drive and search like mission and see if anything can show.
Please
I
be
think
there,
I
please be there.
entitled it that.
right.
know, what 5 or 6 years ago when I originally wrote something down on paper. But I love that idea that it's okay to revisit that and it's okay to even change what that looks like if you're ready to
Absolutely.
change that and to morph and transform as a small business owner into the direction you want to go. And yeah, I just love how you just put it all together, right? Taking that first step, knowing what success is for you and then being able to connect those strategy dots. And if you're struggling with that's when somebody like Michael comes in and Adroitly and Co can help with that process. Okay, let's do our toolkit. Let's do
yeah.
our toolkit. Let's tell them what they
Yeah.
can have. Like awesomeness from Michael is coming their way.
Yeah.
And then
Anna,
how
can you
to
stop?
action her.
Can you stop showing off and saying Michael's company name so eloquently, please?
I'm saying it for
Adroitly.
you.
Adroitly.
Look at
Adroitly.
it.
You got this.
Okay.
Learn new
that might be
things.
the only-
Check.
Yep. Check. Exactly. Okay. Look, we always ask our guests for a toolkit, something that they might have that they share with their audience that we would love to share with our audience. And Michael so lovely sent us over this Boundaries for Creatives. I'm going to let Michael tell you about it and why you need to join it. And do not worry, the links will be in the podcast and on our blog. So you will be able to connect right to her to get it.
Yes, absolutely. This is a resource we created. I did it in 2 ways. One, it can be sent to your inbox or you can get the workbook. Some people need to be slowed down. If your instinct is, I want all right now, but no, you rush through things and then don't action it, go through the little mini course. That's going to give you little bits of actionable items. But if you don't have a mission, vision, and value, this will help you walk through or refresh it. But then it's really talking about your boundaries, how to set boundaries, know what your yes is, and know what your no is, because that really helps you to propel your business forward and give you more time margin to say yes to the things that are important.
I feel like that's a whole nother conversation that we need to have.
Yeah.
Look
Michael,
at
you're
it and know what you know is That's
Yeah.
the t-shirt phrase for this
No.
show right
Yeah.
here.
No. Yeah. And we're just going to
There it
invite
is.
Michael back for next season and we're going to just make that the topic and let's talk about that.
Yes.
Sounds good. All happy to come back. You guys are so fun. I want to be back all the time.
I love
Okay,
it.
so yeah, babe, before you go there, Michael also has a 10% off on strategic planning services, all right, that she's offering for anyone that's listening in on this conversation. So that will also be included in the links. All right, now we can roll on to how do people come and find you to access these things? Where do you want them to come looking for you, Michael?
Absolutely. So we have our website that you can find our offerings and connect with me. Also, our resources like the one you just saw and some more that are going to be rolling out soon that I'm really excited about. So if you liked my style and my method of madness, then come on over and find some resources. But you'll mostly find me on LinkedIn. That is where I put my energy and focus these days. And I am also on Instagram and hope to be on YouTube soon. The channel is there, guys. And this is my commitment to marketing that I talked about earlier, my weakness. But I will be there. Come follow along and then you'll get the updates.
Michael, look, we give all of our guests like these quick little short reels that you could use for a YouTube short. So
Yep.
if that's the first one up
There
there,
we go.
look,
There it
don't
is.
worry. Don't
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
YouTube, here I come. Watch out.
We got
Yeah.
you on this one.
Yes, yeah.
I know Anna has my back.
Yeah. You know what?
And then Selena, I
Honestly,
mean, we're new friends here.
we're besties now. Like,
Yeah.
look,
I saw your
and-
vacuum. I mean,
I know,
we're ready.
exactly. And everybody has a vacuum. That's what look, you made me feel good about my vacuum. No, I just honestly, Anna spoke so highly of you, Michael, and I love everything she said was like on point about how wonderful you are. And she did say she cannot wait for you to start doing videos. She said, because you are a wonderful speaker. So I can't wait to see them. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go. Anna's gonna hold me accountable. Like, hey, where's that
Yeah.
video? So
Yeah.
Wait, don't
Okay,
blame me if she starts refusing to do video here, but we are going to push that.
I'm
because-
coming. I'm coming, guys. This
Yes,
is my
right.
public announcement. Video is
There
coming.
you-
Yes. This is going to be her YouTube short where she said, okay, here's our Oscar music, Aaron.
I know. All right. So we want to say thank you so much, Michael, for being here with us today. It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you about mindset, business operations, and what that includes. We want to thank you for coming on our show. As always, you can find Anna and Selena at annaandselena.com on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or your favorite podcast platform. We can't wait to hear your comments and join our community. And we look forward to seeing you on the next 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Did they actually make it to the outro music?
I told you this would work, Selena.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in to today's show. Now head on over to annaandselena.com to listen to more of the 15-ish minute coffee chat. We've got over 100 episodes, all geared to making your businesses more fun and profitable.